Grab your headphones, listen up, you know you love it. Drop the facade. Like the Dark Knight Detective, they've got some perspective. They're a pure crime-fighting collective. It's the Bat Pod.
Welcome to this episode of Gotham Currents. My name is Bill Beer, and joining me tonight, John Coos.
Welcome back.
Yes,
Bill.
welcome back. Well, I've been here. Where have you been?
Oh, just a little 10-day trip to Paris. Checking out Justice League Europe.
Oh, there you go. I see you brought some friends with you today in the background there.
Yep. Just getting over some jet lag, but whatever. You know, someone's got to do it, right? How was your holiday season?
That was okay.
Did you get any Batman stuff?
I got a trade of Batman the Cult, which is fairly new trade. But
is that from like 89?
Yeah.
Oh, I have the OGs in the prestige format.
I have those too. It's the first time it had been traded, but it has the original coloring, so that's pretty awesome looking. So,
like, are you saying it was sort of like the Killing Joke? Somebody overcolored it in the first one.
Oh, they didn't. I would have had a problem if it, would have been recolored or whatever. So.
Okay, got it.
So.
All right, cool.
So tonight, we're going to be discussing Detective Comics 1091, a little Nightwing 120, Batman and Robin Year 1, number 2, and Batgirl number 2. So if you'd like to join the conversation or email is the podcast at thebatpod.com. We are on Blue Sky, Threads, Facebook. Just search the Batpod podcast.
The Bat Pod is a spoiler podcast. Please read the comics we're reviewing so you can enjoy the show.
So our first book tonight is going to be Detective Comics 1091. Your writer, Tom Taylor. Art and cover, Mikkel Yanin. Associate editor, Jessica Burby. And editor, Ben Mears. And we get a cover here. If I can find our cover. We get a cover here, and we got Batman staring at this, this new miracle medicine that will not make him age as much in front of a Batcave monitors. What did you think of this cover?
I loved it, actually. We've talked about how covers sometimes have something to do with the book and not. Coming off that last issue, you know exactly that this cover is, straight from the storyline, and it's a really important thing that he's facing right now. And then you got the kid in the background, I guess one of the victims of this crime spree, serial killing thing that's going on. And then you got a little Easter egg there. Oh, Superman's there. So you got to wonder, is Superman in the book? So anyway, I loved it, really.
Yeah, I really like the coloring and how he's focused on this cure or, this potion that's going to extend his life. And that comes to play in the book here a little bit. So in this issue, Batman awakens from a dream where the Joker is killing him, but is saved by Robin, a.k.a. Sam the teenager that died last issue. Thinking about the non-teenagers murdered in a month as he considers extending his own life. Batman meets Bullock at the morgue and examines Sam's body as Oracle radios in and tells him one of the kids she is monitoring has been taken. Batman arrives on the scene to find Robin holding on to the back of the getaway truck. Batman and Robin battle the kidnappers. And save the kid, but not before Batman taking a crowbar to the knee. Batman meets up with Superman. Superman diagnoses a tear of his MCL in his knee. Batman has a conversation with Superman about the treatment that slows aging. Superman is confident if this treatment works, Batman will find a way to share it with the world. At Thermai's headquarters, Bruce has decided to go through with the treatment and tries to conceal the toll of injuries to his body. Scarlet herself administers the serum known as Sangreal. At the Batcave, Robin wakes his father and informs him that he has been asleep for 11 hours straight. Robin informs him that the teenager they save, whose name is Kai, is set up at the Three Seasons Hotel. Batman pays a visit to the Iceberg Lounge. Batman and Penguin talk about Kai and the fact that the Penguin paid the kidnappers to acquire funds that Kai stole from him. Penguin admits the killings have caused some unrest in Gotham's underworld. Back at the Three Seasons Hotel, Kai is attacked through the window as asthma is revealed for the first time. So we get the second issue of this all-in book, and we get an opening scene here. You know, it's a dream kind of mesh between, Bruce and aging and the boy that he couldn't save. What did you think of this opening scene?
I thought it was great. I mean, I wish we could show that first page, but it's pretty scary. Him dreaming that the Joker's strangling him, and he's old, and that's what this is kind of about.
Yeah,
the fact that he's got it in his head that he could have saved this one if his aging reflexes weren't a factor or whatever, and so it's really plaguing him. I thought it was really cool. And it's got these cool. The panels are kind of like dreamy, like gooey. Not like square rectangle panels, which I thought kind of give it a cool.
Yeah, it's just like somebody threw
thing.
A bunch of paint on a board or whatever. They're kind of like that.
Yeah,
except they appear in the panels.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. He wakes up, and he goes and he's thinking about, and we get some background here that there was nine kids that have been killed, and they're all in juvenile detention, that sort of thing. So he's in this issue, I don't know about you, but this issue seemed to be less about who's doing the killing. I mean, we get a little bit here, he goes to the morgue, but it doesn't really focus on who the killer is or that sort of thing, and it's more focuses on him, extending his life and what, that's on his mind and that sort of thing. Yeah.
One thing it's cool. I mean, on the part that they are focusing on the crimes issue, the Bullock relationship. I like how Bullock is kind of depicted the same way as he is in the Batman book. We talk about continuity junkies before and stuff, so I like that. I'm not sure if it was coordination between Chip Zdarsky and Taylor at all, but it would have been a bummer if one or the other treated the Bullock relationship differently. So I kind of picked up on that. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, that was kind of nice. I mean, basically it shows their relationship identical.
Yeah, it's cool
in both books. So I did like that.
Yeah, and then you mentioned in the scene with the truck and the getaway truck, and then when he got hit by the knee of the crowbar, that the way I saw it was that, okay, this is just another reminder for him that he was caught off guard by some random thug, and he's going to attribute that to this aging fear he has. That's how, did you pick up on that right away?
Yeah, I don't.
These are just random thugs. I the way I looked at it was 10 year earlier Batman wouldn't have had any trouble with all these guys. And that's what I think.
I wouldn't think so, and we're just getting a little bit of this in this particular. I mean, you don't see it in the other stories. I just think, they're focusing on, he gets the crowbar to the knee or whatever, and but besides that, I guess it just has it in his mind that he keeps thinking, well, he needs to extend his life and maybe he won't have all these pains and feel younger and that sort of thing.
Right.
But this was a cool scene, Batman and Robin working together and taking these thugs out.
Yeah, I was wondering if we would see Robin in this arc, based on the first issue, and here he is. So we're probably not going to see him like we do in Batman and Robin, like right side by side as the story progresses. But I liked that Robin's not absent from this storyline.
Yes.
I like that.
And we get a little continuity here. That Robin is active with Batman, and it's shown here. Which, if it would be one of the other, helpers or team Gotham, it wouldn't quite, I think, make as much sense. But it makes perfect sense that Robin is here. So
For sure.
I did like that a lot.
Yeah.
This next scene, I'm gonna say, I didn't expect this, Superman to show up, but I really like this a lot.
Yeah, me too. And I don't know if I've said it before, but I think I have. And I apologize if I did. I love when you have these interpersonal moments that are done well between Batman and Superman, or Clark and Bruce, and this is one of them. And he's oh yeah, you've got a meniscus tear, this and that, and in the first issue, I wasn't sure how I felt about the potential of him doing the age slowing or whatever rejuvenation thing, but Superman actually, as you covered a little bit in your summary, Superman makes it really kind of like he flips the script on Batman, because Batman's struggling with another notion, which is, why should he get this because he's super duper rich when nobody else can? And Superman's like, well, yeah, for now, but I know you. If this works, you're going to figure out a way to make this for the people. And it's almost like light bulb went off in Batman's head, like he didn't think of that or something. And he
thought he was being selfish, I think.
Yeah,
that this would be a selfish act.
Yeah, but this was 3 pages long, which I thought was cool, and it's just the art is cool, like the way and they start getting more and more familiar. Like Superman is first flying, like hovering, and then he sits down on that railing, and it's like you just feel in it, like these guys are bros. After working together all these years, they trust each other implicitly. There's no conflict between them. There's no snarkiness. There's no growling from Batman. He trusts, like Superman's like one of the only people he really trusts. And I just love it. It's super cool.
Yeah, it's such a great scene. And
he flies away.
Yeah. Oh no, it's great. It's like a sunset, or I don't know if it's in the morning. It almost looks like it's in the morning.
Yeah.
And he's flying away through the city, and it's some very awesome artwork here, and
Oh yeah, the way Superman's facial characteristics are, it's really believable that this is like a real conversation. There's something. I agree. I didn't know how to describe it, but the art is just like really appealing to me. I dig it.
Oh, absolutely. So. And then he decides he's going to take this, Shangri-La or whatever it is to extend his life, but they want to do some tests to make sure he's healthy, and he sort of gives him a line where he doesn't have to take his shirt off, so because he has this scarring, from accidents, doing stupid things, and we know the real reason. I like that. I like that a lot.
Me too.
Where do you think this is going? I always try to think about what's the play here. I mean, is this doesn't seem like it's a for real thing. Or
Yeah. I mean, I think her motives are unclear at the moment. There's one sign that maybe she's got an ulterior motive, which is if she can make the uber rich care about the quality of life of the people who are taking it, and that they recognize that maybe they should be focused on the preservation of Earth's ecosystem or something. There's sort of a underlying subtext of nobility to that, but I have a feeling, I think it's what you're getting at, is that there's something's going to go wrong with this serum, or somebody's manipulating her, or she's a villain.
yes,
Yeah.
I mean, it's setting up to be. I mean, Robin tells him, Damian says you've been asleep for 11 hours, and he's like, oh, my knee even feels better.
Yeah.
It's just one of these too good to be true. It's usually, really is too good to be true. But
Exactly. Yeah. And in this scene, we don't have to cover it in depth, but I thought that was really cool, the Damian Bruce interaction, and after he was slept for so long. I mean, it's funny that there's a funny line. He says, "I'd like you to take some of my blood." And then Damien says, "Some fathers and sons play catch." I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I did like that. That was. I know he wants to examine the blood to see exactly what's in it.
Yeah.
You would have thought maybe he would have done that ahead of time. Tried to get some of this stuff to see what's going on and that sort of thing. And we get a nice little. Return where Batman meets up with the Penguin because he figured out the goons were hired by Penguin, and this boy owed the Penguin some money. And this is really the first time the Penguin has showed up in the main books for a little bit, since he faked his death there. And we had fail-safe robot come and try to exterminate Batman because he had committed murder, which didn't really happen. But I always liked the Penguin. This is very, Danny DeVito-looking Penguin.
You're right. It is a very Danny DeVito-looking Penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought this scene was really cool. And, Batman kind of they've got this, maybe you can explain the nature of their relationship at this current time, but maybe it's just been this way a while. Is Batman knows he's still a criminal, but he kind of lets him operate, maybe, as long as he doesn't do anything too weird or too nasty. How would you characterize Batman allowing Penguin to? I mean.
I don't know. It's just one of these, like a mobster operating, and you can't get enough, evidence to convict, and he does things, and but he lets him know, the boy stole from you, but I have what the boy stole. So now, I'm the one you can look at. You can leave the boy alone.
Yeah.
Because he tells him, he says, your business with the kid is done.
Yeah. And the other observation is that Tom Taylor is really great at characterization and dialogue between characters, is that you just get this sense that they've got 20 years with each other probably or something. Batman and Penguin, like
Yeah.
he's the way he's walking around Penguin's place, and Penguin's not afraid of him really. It's there's this interesting dynamic between them I found really appealing as well. I liked it.
And the other thing here is, Gotham is, has criminals like this all over the place. So it's really hard to focus on when there's little crimes happening everywhere. So
Fair enough. It's a game of whack-a-mole for
yes.
Batman.
So we get the final page. We finally get to see our villain, which the previous issue we didn't see Asma. I don't know if that's how you say her name or whatever. It looks like a woman. It's obvious that they want you to think this is Scarlet just because of the hair, I would think. But I'm not sure. Is that what your thought is? Do you think this is Scarlet?
You mean the tech gal from that creates the serum?
Right.
I didn't think that.
Oh,
It
okay.
could be. I mean, the hair's not purple, but
No.
I guess it could be a.
Well, here the lighting's a little funky, so
It could be a Batwoman wig or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I thought it was cool. I mean, asthma, I guess. Is that how you spell asthma? Like you have asthma?
No.
But anyway, but yeah, I mean, but the one thing I thought was funny was that he's been holed up in the 3 Seasons hotel. Is it
not
like
the 4 seasons, it's the 3 seasons.
it's like a 3-star version of the 4 Seasons, or they're only open 3 seasons. The 3 Seasons hotel.
Yeah.
I just think Tom Taylor's just being funny. But anyway, this is a great arc so far, and yeah, we're intrigued. Like, is that where does this all fit together? I'm digging this comic. I'm digging it.
The next issue, we should get more about our villain, because I'm interested to know what her motivations are and that sort of thing. And if this is Scarlet, does these killings have something to do with the serum? It'd be interesting to find out.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. What do we do? What are we doing next? Are we doing some Nightwing?
Yes.
All right. We've got Nightwing 120. It's On With the Show, Part 2, Capture Their Hearts, written by Dan Waters, art by Dexter Soy, colors by Veronica Gandini, letters by Wes Abbott, and editor is Jessica Burby. We've got a cover here, which you've got up. Well, let me just ask you, what do you think of this cover?
I like this. He's standing on top of a building or something. And it's kind of a...
Is that a smokestack or something?
It almost looks like that. It's he's standing on top of this, and it's like the smog of the city. Is that what?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's supposed to represent that the city's burning on fire. There's,
Okay.
But yeah, I think you like this because of how Nightwing's standing. Because I know you're a big fan of Nightwing's butt.
That would be Sean Ross.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But it's a cool. It's a cool cover. So here we go with the story. Crime's out of control in Bloodhaven. Warring gangs with colorful names like the Teddies, who wear teddy bear heads, and the well-dressed, clean-cut crew, the alien-looking, genetically engineered Flyboys, and the Blockbuster gang. In our last issue, Nightwing convinced them to stop warring with each other and focus on their own territories. He told them to contact him before they conflict with each other. In reaction to the crime, the Bloodhaven Police Department has contracted with Spheric Industries, who are glad to provide high-tech weapons to aid the department in their war on crime. Our issue starts off with Nightwing investigating the Spheric Industries warehouse filled with experimental high-tech weapons. The warehouse defense mechanisms kick in, and Nightwing must do all of his acrobatic greatness to dodge lasers and the like. Spheric CEO Olivia Pierce is watching all of this via CCTV along with her mysterious sidekick, a guy dressed up in a getup that looks like an Italian opera clown with a V for Vendetta mask with a penguin nose. Do we know his name yet? I couldn't find it. Anyway, Pierce remotely detonates something in this sphere that was attacking Nightwing. Blows up and a hole gets blown in it, and you find that our lab rabbit has a thing strapped to its head and it's controlling that thing. Nightwing takes the rabbit home and his dog is not pleased. Olivia Pierce conducts a press conference and blames the Teddies for the warehouse incident, saying they were looking for weapons to go up against the other gangs. Then she debuts the Helios Project, her own small army of security, which will help the BPD, the Bloodhaven Police Department, in battling crime. The private Helios soldiers corner a teddy bear gang member in the streets. Nightwing gets in between them, but the teddy is scared and points a gun at the Helios guys, and his gun jams. That gives the soldiers the excuse to blow him away. They leave. Nightwing is confronted by Mama Bear, the leader of the gang. She's thinking that Nightwing betrayed them, but he convinces her otherwise, and our story ends with a very angry Nightwing standing over the dead teenage gang member the Helios guys killed. All right. So, Bill, we talked last time about the big shoes that were being filled by this Mr. Dan Waters. He was filling Tom Taylor's shoes. We liked it. It had a funky feel. Are you still feeling it?
I think so for the most part. I enjoyed this. The rabbit kind of threw me off. You know, we have this drone at the beginning of Spirit Solutions, and you know their security drone, and another bomb goes off, which they set off themselves.
Right.
And he finds this rabbit that's hooked up. They said it's a test rabbit, but yeah. I don't know. What is going on there? What?
Well, Nightwing says something to Oracle about it. Maybe it was, or she says something to him about, right here it says, it was the CPU in Spheric's big, scary security mech, a living brain's fight or flight being harnessed to guide the machine. So, like, you know, animals, even humans sort of have this fight or flight reflex. And I guess they're saying that the Spheric people were testing out whether a rabbit's fight or flight reflexes would aid in, I don't know. It seemed kind of weird. Like, because why? Like, why would you do that? Like, with AI and stuff. This is something this is something you might see like in a 1960s like campy Silver Age comic or something that makes no sense. But you know what, the Spheric thing, the one thing that I'm concerned about is like, this is just all like, if I'm going to go negative at all, it's like, okay, you got this crime situation in Bloodhaven. You got this big corporation that's gonna. The city's desperate. The mayor's desperate, who's also his half sister. This group comes in and says, you know, it's almost like RoboCop. You know, like the Detroit police are, you know, overwhelmed, so we're going to bring in RoboCop kind of thing. It's like the same kind of thing. Like they're desperate to tamp down the crime, so they're going to outsource a bunch of stuff, and so then you've got the corporation that's filling that need, but they're also behind the scenes creating that need, which is kind of a story I feel like I've heard before a little bit. If that makes any sense to you, like, okay, and then she seems to have an obsession with Nightwing in particular. Like, is it because let's get Nightwing out of the way so we have more crime? Anyway, and then there was one other thing that I didn't pick up on, I guess in the first issue, I guess maybe I missed it or I can't remember. It's been a while. Is that they apparently know he's Dick Grayson, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They
They
definitely know because they're calling him Circus Boy and
Circus Boy and stuff. And it's like, I know it's both of our pet peeves. It's like, golly, gee.
somebody else knows a secret identity.
Yeah, why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she just go, Dick Grayson's Nightwing? Like, I don't know.
I mean, it's a good possibility this might be related to his circus days. I'm not 100% sure. They're obviously causing, a lot of dysfunction in the city with these warring gangs going against each other. Having this gang war where her weapons will be used a lot with a lot of these corrupt. And I tell you what, Bloodhaven's police force looks way more corrupt than Gotham. I mean, are there any good guys left in this city?
Yeah, poor Bloodhaven. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm not down on the book. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just wondering if this is like, hopefully there's more gets exposed. But the art's pretty great. I love, and I love the fact that he's continued on with this Oracle thing. We talked about it before. That she's in his ear all the time. I dig that. So anyway, I don't think
I liked how I liked how they pulled, from the previous Nightwing run. Bloodhaven was, Bloodhaven was basically destroyed by chemo. He was just one giant blob bomb. If you remember that, it says, and it references Nightwing 1/16/2006. I always wondered, how connected some of this stuff was, but that was kind of cool to see, the connection there. The other thing is these teddies. I thought these were adults, and it's revealed, especially after the cops are like shooting people with their, I don't know, super scientific guns or whatever. They're just kids. They're just young teenagers.
Well, this says, this guy says he was 14, and then the guy says he was my big brother. That means
oh
this guy's
yes,
like
I mean,
12
what are they
or
like?
13,
right? Yes.
Yeah.
We're not full soldiers yet.
They haven't. Maybe that wasn't Mama Bear. I said it was Mama Bear. It was just I guess it was just a guy. Is there a Mama Bear? I can't remember. But anyway.
Yeah, she got killed, there at the beginning when all the head mobsters got taken out. And we get this, villain talking about, Dick Grayson putting on a show and that sort of thing. And,
yeah, that guy.
We don't know much about.
Guy.
Yeah, he has like a marionette. It almost looks like you see Nightwing, down, and then in front of him he has these like characters that he's, the old school circus thing or wherever those things are from. I say there's a lot more questions than there are answers about everything. I mean, but I've enjoyed it overall.
Yeah, we'll see if it gets too out of control. I mean, why? Like now it begs the question: what's the deal with the teddies? Like, why are they all like adolescents and stuff? Like, what?
Yeah, will we learn any more about that?
And how do they control organized crime in parts of Bloodhaven? A bunch of children. I don't know. Okay, whatever.
They're wearing those big, masks or whatever. So you don't know they're kids. What do you? I mean,
If I saw a 14-year-old, if I saw somebody, I saw a 14-year-old with a teddy bear head on, I would probably run in horror. I don't know. I mean, I'd probably be able to. I could probably be able to tell, like, hey kid, it's not Halloween. I don't know. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to Batman and Robin.
Yes, Batman and Robin, year 1, number 2. Now we got the first one on Ultra. It was day and date when it was released.
Oh, yeah.
Floppy, but we've waited almost 2 months here to get the the second issue. So your writer is Mark Waid, artist Chris Samney, colorist Giovanna Nero, letterer Clayton Cowles, cover Samney and Lopes, senior editor Andrew Marino, and group editor Rob Levin. And we get a cover here of Batman and Robin dashing through the city off the rooftops. It almost looks. They're in a downward motion. What did you think of this cover?
I liked it. Very similar to the last one. I like this, feel, sort of this Frank Miller year one kind of Darwin Cookie kind of look to it. It makes you feel like it's nostalgic. It's good.
Yeah,
good cover.
yeah. I thought that was pretty good. They're jumping from a gargoyle or something like that. So yeah. So in this issue, head of Gotham City Child Protection Services, Miss Lynn, decides to make the Bruce Wayne's adoption of Dick Grayson her top priority. Arriving at Wayne Manor, she is greeted by both Bruce and Alfred before finding Dick swinging from chandelier to chandelier, happy but somewhat at risk in this new environment. Lynn leaves determined to make future unannounced visits. In the bowels of Gotham's underworld, General Grimaldi is greeted by Two-Face, who offers his services with a secret stolen police file, wanting to be second in command to Grimaldi's operations. Grimaldi says he'll take this under consideration, and there's a 50-50 chance he actually calls him back. Meanwhile, Batman and Robin take a tour of Batman's various Batcaves throughout the city, all connected through various caverns that stretch across the city, enabling Batman to arrive at a moment's notice. They follow up on a tip that the Maroni mob plans to hit one of Falcone's meth labs with arson. Just as they make their way into the larger part of the city, they witness the truck that happened to be carrying the oncoming Maroni mob go up in smoke. They jump into action, rescuing civilians, with Robin saving kids trapped in a burning building. Questioning one of the dying men inside of the truck, they learn that the one responsible for setting the fire was a Maroni loyalist whose face appeared to be melting just before everything burst into flames. So we get this second issue, Batman and Robin year one. I tell you what, I've been loving this book. This book has been very entertaining. We get, the Child Protective Services showing up at Wayne Manor just as Batman and Robin. They're doing some training here, and that's not going very well. And then the lady shows up, and he's like jumping from the chandelier, like he's doing a circus act. So, what did you think of this book so far?
I love it. Mark Waid is the DC historian. He's crushing it on World's Finest, and he's really, I think he's going deep into across the board into his obvious love for DC, and I love it too. And Child Protective Services thing is great because I don't think that's ever. I mean, granted, we talked about it a little bit in that whole Robin Lives thing. But like this whole notion that he's taking it to a new level with this, Child Protective Services is showing up and stuff. I thought it was cool. And then, but there's a couple cool panels where Bruce is so annoyed with him, like his facial expressions.
Oh yeah,
when Dick is flipping up across the chandeliers, and there's one panel where her back's turned, and Bruce has got a fist, like he wants to hit him or something, and then Dick has a cockeyed look, and then she turns around, and then they fake some being buddied up, and then she leaves, and then Dick gives him a raspberry kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I guess let's stop there for a sec. Juxtaposed against the troubled Jason Todd, the and the troubled Damien thing. Has Dick ever been presented that he had some growing up to do, to your bat knowledge, that he wasn't just immediately the perfect sidekick? He actually did have a rebellious streak of some kind.
Yeah, I don't know if that's I'm not gonna say I'm a bat historian. I I love reading the comics and love the characters, but I'm not gonna say that I know, all the history and that. I know in the golden age you just saw them as, yeah, it was very golden agey stories. I didn't see it quite portrayed as this. If there is something out there, somebody can let us know. But I really like how this is being trained, because he should be a little bit immature.
Sure.
He should be.
No,
And I tell you what, was that the Joker fish? Does Bruce have Joker fish in the Batcave? Because he's kicking these fish out of a water of some sort, and it's a Joker fish.
Wait, let me get to that panel. Are you talking about
Yeah, it's like the first page. It's like a 2-page panel, and they're in the Batcave, and he kicks a Joker fish into Alfred's little gun or whatever.
Yeah, and they've got the Riddler Jack in the Box thing and all that stuff. No, that was a really cool flashback. I I guess he might, and that's just another clever Mark Waid nod that he's writing a story in 2024 about this early time, but he's throwing in little elements that this is golden and silver age sort of aspects to it, with the Joker fish, and then the umbrella thing has like the question mark. I mean, it's pretty cool. But wanted to say I don't know if you want to cover this Two-Face stuff much, did you? But the Batcave thing is another thing, like that shows the Wayne Manor, and then it shows
yes.
Then it shows what they call it. They call that in architecture. They call that a section page, where you can see the inside. And it's like straight out of Who's Who, or straight out of an old comic where they show something
that is
like
so
that.
Incredible. They kind of show that Gotham City, from Wayne Manor, we have a Batcave, but it extends to other, sections of the Batcave. That this is extended throughout the city, so he's purchased abandoned buildings and that sort of thing. But I love this panel. I mean, this panel looks like, it sort of makes it look like Gotham City is on a hill, but I don't think it's supposed to be represented that way. It's just supposed to show you the Batcaves going, extending throughout the city, which I think that is pretty cool.
I do too. It's clever. Everything in this has got so many little nods and stuff, and this is great. Just cool.
And
go on.
Does Mark Waid know these DC characters better than anybody else, or what? I mean, as a whole, all the DC characters that he writes, I mean, he seems a lot of times he's just spot on with characterization and ideas and that sort of thing. He hasn't lost a step at all.
No. I've seen him in a couple documentaries talking. He's an encyclopedia. He knows this stuff. So, yeah, I love it. It's a great comic.
Yeah, we get a little bit of Two-Face, as we said, and we get a little bit of a war in Gotham, and I don't know what's going on here to get in, because they find a criminal that's half burnt up, and he says, the person in charge was melting as he was shooting fire. His face was melting. I don't really know where they're going with that.
I mean, are they going to bring in some Clayface, maybe?
I guess that's possible.
I never thought Clayface would use a flamethrower, though, but that was the only thing I thought of. But
Firefly.
We will see.
That sort of thing. So yeah. Very enjoyable.
Yes.
First 2 issues. I think that's like a 12 issue.
Is it?
Maxi, okay. I believe so. or 10 issues or something like that. So a lot more story to come.
Yep. All right, cool. Well, let's move on to Batgirl. Batgirl number 2. Mother Part 2. Writer Tate Bromball. Artist Takeshi Miyazawa. Colors Mike Spicer. Letters Tom Napolitano. And editor Jessica Burby. So we left Batgirl and Lady Shiva in a burning temple of Shiva in Gotham as another round of assassins try to take him down. They make quick work of them, but Shiva got injured in the fight. If you recall from the last issue, Lady Shiva wants her daughter, Cassandra Cain Batgirl, to leave Gotham with her and go into hiding as they are being targeted by a group called the Unburied. Batgirl wants to involve the Bat family and Batman, but Shiva convinces her that it'll only put them at risk. Batgirl believes her. Batgirl takes Shiva to a Vietnamese kitchen where the proprietor, Ba Bo, an elderly woman, lives with her grandsons, strapping boys in their late teens and early 20s. Batgirl knows these people well, and Ba Bo apparently can sew up Shiva's wound. Batgirl has apparently been coming to this place, and they all became friends, them showing her Vietnamese martial arts, and her showing the boys all her martial arts over time. Batgirl and Shiva get some quiet time over some Vietnamese food, and it is here where Shiva tells Cassandra who's chasing them, the Unburied. League of Assassins-like characters who are powered by a rare blue flower that sprouts from the graves of murdered monks. These powers include enhanced senses. The backstory talks about a blue flower war where many monks died, and now they've risen. The Unburied. Then the Unburied ascend on the kitchen, and Shiva gives a big ninja a name, Calden the Unseen. A melee ensues with the Unburied on one side, and on the other, Batgirl, Shiva, the old lady, and her grandsons. Calden nearly takes Batgirl's life, but Shiva does a nice roundhouse kick, smashing Calden through a wall. Shiva and Batgirl escape, apparently leaving their Vietnamese hosts to fend for themselves. Bao Bo appears to be dead, and Calden asks one of the grandsons, "Where did they go?" All right. Going back, I didn't ask you about the cover. So the cover, you had that up, right?
Yep.
There you go. Let's talk about that, and then 86 that. Okay, yes, it says there, Sins of the Mother. So, and then, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I thought it's an okay cover. I guess that's Lady Shiva in the back, and, Cassandra Cain is jumping through the bat cave or something with a bunch of bats. I thought it was an okay cover. I mean,
yeah, that's fine. So, my summary pretty much got it. We got these big fights. I mean, the most interesting thing in the book, which we're not going to read to people, is the dialogue when there's downtime or moments to have dialogue between the two. I don't know if you have any observations on it, but they're clearly kind of trying to rebuild trust or something. But it feels real to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more about Cassandra Cain and how she's acting towards things, how she uses her environment. She's it's been kind of cool the last 2 issues to see how she can read faces, movements, patterns, nerves, mistakes. She says in here, it's listed, it said, "My sight is my prophecy and my fists are my medium. I simply lead the cards laid out before me."
Yeah. No, I think that's good that they're focusing on this quote unquote sort of ability. It's almost like a superpower that Cassandra has because of her upbringing without the speaking and all that stuff. We talked about it a little bit last time, but they come back to it a lot, which is fine with me because it kind of sets her power set, even though I know she doesn't have powers, but let's just go with it. Apart from Spoiler, apart from Batgirl, et cetera, because, Barbara Gordon, because she has this ability that as a result of her upbringing, and it enhances her fighting because she can read bodies and faces and actions instinctually super quick and then react to that before that person, let's say, throws a punch or that person does this or that. It's really cool. I like it.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. I don't really know, where this is going, and
yeah.
We get the dude that, he wants that building to burn, so he takes out and murders the firefighters, but then he's like, he sheds tears over killing him and that sort of thing.
At first, I couldn't tell if this was like a big Barda-sized woman or a guy, but then I realized it was a guy. But I made a comment during the summary about this whole thing with this Vietnamese family and stuff. I mean, did you read it differently than me? That after Shiva and Batgirl, kind of escape, they literally just left them there. The family there.
Yeah, basically, she left them there. I mean, Sandra wanted to stay, but she was, wounded, but she must have been doing some training on those guys because they held their own at least pretty decently. I mean, they didn't get cut down right away.
Yeah. And
I want to know where to find this blue flower.
Yeah.
Do they have that, of some of that? Is that what you've been taking?
That's I can't really talk about it right now, but yeah, but yeah, the premise of this so far is a little uninteresting to me so far. Like I'm fine with the Batgirl Shiva dynamic, but this whole like quasi League of Assassins thing. Why do they want to kill? Like, I guess we'll find that out later. It's like, why do they want to kill them? Is that your point earlier? Is that Shiva must have a history with them and that she screwed something up?
I guess, and they want to take out her family, but we haven't got a whole lot of really what's going on besides fighting, and then they have these special powers from this flower, and that Cassandra can't involve any of your family in Gotham because they'll be all on the list to be murdered and that sort of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, I'll keep reading it. It's definitely not at the top of my stack, when it comes out for the week, but it's not bad.
No, it's not bad, and I like her.
Yeah. So we'll keep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're at the beginning. We're only in issue 2 of that, so it should be interesting.
Yeah. So, we got a little backlogged due to the holidays and whatnot, but we've got we're going to get some episodes out to make up for lost time over the next week or so, right?
Yeah, we got a DC Current episode with her 3 Titans, JSA, and Justice League Unlimited. And I know you want to add so many more books to that. That might be like a 10-book episode at some point. I'm just kidding. And then we already got Batman out. And what other book? I think it's Batman for now. So here in a week or so, we'll have probably 2 weeks, we'll have another episode of Gotham Currents. But our next episode will be, the DC Current book, so that should be pretty exciting. So yeah, we took a little break here over the holidays, but we're back and better than ever, according to John.
Yes.
Right?
All right. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, until then.
Till then, thank you for staying current with Gotham Currents. We will see you later.